Welcome to My Project Ideas. This is an ongoing series on ChatGPT projects. And in this project, we'll learn how to create a SAP UI5 application just with the help of ChatGPT. Certainly, some prerequisites are here, like you need to have access of ChatGPT, you need to have an IDE, and you need to have basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Because ultimately, ChatGPT will give you just the code, not the structure. So you have to create everything by yourself. So we have given a very small layout or flow of the application. So we'll do the IDE setup. Either you can install HANA Studio or Eclipse in your Windows laptop or Mac OS. And apart from that, you can also use some online IDE like WebIDE is there. Again, you have something called BAS, that is Business Application Studio. So you can use either of them. So once you select a particular IDE, then you create a simple UI5 project. So basically, you can choose a template-based project that will create either Neo-based project or Cloud Foundry-based project. So there is a difference between them. So when you create a Neo-based UI5 project, it means that you will be deploying it either in a web server or you will be deploying it as a standalone application. But when you go for Cloud Foundry, you will have something called empty.yaml file generated. The YAML file will build your entire application and execute it all together. Certainly, this is something that you don't have to worry right now. So you have to just create a simple application of UI5, any of them. And then once you're done with that, then you have to create the code with the help of ChatGPT bit by bit and use that code and create your own project. So we have also written an article on how to create a SAP UI5 project using ChatGPT. And the link of this article will be added in the video description. So here also we have mentioned the steps for the setup of IDE. So you can go through this article for the same. In case you don't have the access of anything, you can just follow this article. And the third part we have not written yet. We'll create this content with you. So certainly the very first step here is visit ChatGPT portal. So we are here on the portal now. This link will be also shared in the description. And then here you can ask anything that you want. So we have written a question for you. So we'll ask ChatGPT to create a UI5 project that shows a table of a customer with button on the top to create a new record. Edit the existing record and delete a record by selecting a radio button within a table. So if you are descriptive in your question, ChatGPT will be able to answer that question better. So we'll just drop this question to ChatGPT and we'll wait for the generation of the answer. So meanwhile, it generates the answer. We'll go back to WebIDE. So we have SAP WebIDE setup already done. And here we can click on File, New, and Project from Template. So we'll choose something called SAP UI5 application. If you see, we have here in the environment New. So anything else you can choose. And Chat GPT generated project it is. So Chat GPT Gen is the name. First view will name it as main. And yeah, that's it. So it will take some moment to generate blank portal or blank project structure for you. So in case you are new to UI5, so this is also a very important thing to learn how to create a project in UI5. And once you are done with these steps, some basic configurations are required in manifest file. In case you are doing routing or you are creating multiple pages and navigating from one page to another page. So we'll try not to do those steps. We'll just jump to view. And here is the part where we'll do the coding. So I will just name the title as Chat GPT GPT generated Wi-Fi project. Save it and then click on run. Choose index.html file. Click OK and let the application run. A blank project with title at Chat GPT Gen, and the title of the page will be the one that we have just written. Chat GPT generated UI5 project. So it takes some time to load. The reason being is that index file has a lot of stuff in it, and it loads something called the libraries, SAP UI core libraries. And once this is loaded, it loads component file, which ultimately loads manifest file, and then only it comes to controller part and other parts. That's why it takes some time to load. So yeah, here the title is there, and we'll go back to Chat GPT. Wow, so it has generated a lot of code for us, right? So it has given steps also. Start by creating a new UI5 project. That is done. In SAP WebIDE, we are done there only. Create a new XML view for a table of customers, which will include the following button. Copied the code and pasted it inside the view. I'll just replace the entire view, but this will cost me something. Fine. So I will not paste it entirely. Reason being the controller name is something that is auto-generated with the help of the project name that we have given. I don't want to mess with that. So what I want is to change the content only. So one way is that I go back there and copy from content until okay, the content part. So content is there, and after that footer is also there. That also we can include. So until this part, I will copy it and paste the code. Press Control Alt B to make it beautiful. And once you're done with that, and we'll just cross check if they have used some namespace. So they have used something called SAP UI table. Certainly, if I was the actual coder, I have used SAP.m.table. Reason being, SAP.m.table is responsive to the mobile phones, but SAP code generated by ChatGPT is very random. So until unless you will specify that you need a table in SAP.m format, it can do anything. So the control is over there. And then if you see, even the deletion part is not generated. So complete the generation of above code. Sometimes it is not able to generate everything entirely. So you have to remind it, okay, man, complete the generation of the code. And it will what do it will go back and read, okay, what I have missed, and those things it will write later on. So if you see handle delete was written earlier, now it is writing colon function, so it means it is completing that file. And now the structure is so much disturbed, like the code is being written outside, but the content of the output is written inside the coding box. So these issues are like a part of ChatGPT as of now. Certainly in future version we expect that it will be fixed. So the best part I can see here is that they have generated the code in such a way that they have generated something called JSON also. Okay, let it complete, then I will just start copying and pasting the code. So it says create a new controller. We have the controller of the view, which will handle the actions of the buttons for creating, editing, and deleting records. Inside that, they have called something called handle create, handle edit. So they had divided the entire code altogether. So uh, write all above controller code all together. I do not want to, copy paste the code one by one. I want it all together so that I can just copy all together and paste it. So I've used the keyword all together many times now. So we'll see what it does. So the best part that I believe is like when you see Chat GPT generating code, it feels like some human is actually writing the code, and not something like being generated altogether. Again, altogether I've used. So certainly these things make Chat GPT very impressive. And one more thing you can do, like once the entire code is generated, once you have copied and pasted the code, and you have some doubt regarding like the code generation, so what all this code is doing, what this function stands for, you can ask even that part from ChatGPT. So I have copied the code. I will go to controller folder, click on main controller.js, replace the functions. So again, I'm not selected everything, I am just copying the code between something that I have to write between the return commands, because I do not want to mess with these default names that were generated earlier. So I can see create a new model that will be used to provide table. So these code is missed. So if I just copy this line of code and paste it here, and so I have something called model where a JSON model is created. Within a model, some data is there like this, and then I am setting the model like this. Okay, so to the core, it is setting the model. Also, it is setting the model to the table. Table name is customer table, right? We'll just go back and confirm. Yes. And then they have buttons for which they have not written any commands. I just saved it like this. Everything is saved. I will just go here and click on refresh. So I have something in my mind. With the help of those questions, I asked ChatGPT to do something. You see, I can select particular row, table is generated. I can click on create, click on edit, click on delete, and like this, the entire view is generated without even writing a single line of code. Everything is just copy and paste with the help of ChatGPT. So now again, if you want to extend this code to the further steps, like if you want to ask ChatGPT to create or to open up a pop-up, one click of create, or open up a pop-up, one click of delete, you can ask it. So I will just showcase one simple step. In above step, on click of delete, open a success message saying your uh, selected row is deleted. Also, remove that row after the click of delete button and refresh the table. I'm not pretty sure if it can understand the entire thing and generate the required code or not, but let's see. That's great. That's great. So it is actually writing the entire code. So people do ask like if ChatGPT will replace coders or not. So with this speed, I can say that it can replace a lot of coders. It will reduce the number of coders required in a project. Suppose if SAP UI5 code is like a project is there and they need 100 workers to work for an entire year. So certainly the number of coders will reduce to 50 or 30 or 20, something like that, because every coder will be efficient in terms of coding with the help of ChatGPT. So we have the code, we have copied the code, and we'll go to controller file and replace handle delete with this. Press Ctrl B, refresh here. I'll click the last one. I'll click on delete, and nothing is happening. So we'll see if handle delete is written in the view or not. It is written, and I can click on inspect to check the error. And the error is O table dot get selected item is not fine. So I will just mention the same. I got error code table dot get selected item is not a function. If I'm not wrong, this was the error, right? We'll just confirm. Yeah. So if you see, this is also the issue. So it might give you wrong code while implementing. You will get some errors. You will have to ask again and again. So if I was going to code by myself, I know the steps. I would have written everything by myself, right? But if I'm going to follow the steps given by ChatGPT, so I have to be very much dependent upon its correctness. I cannot be 100% sure that it is correct. So like I'm pretty not sure if this will work again or not. So now what it is doing is like getting index, and if there is some index, then it will show please select a customer to delete, and if not, then it will do something like this and set it. Okay, fine. We'll see. We'll just press on delete. Please select a customer to delete. Fine. Selected. Just copy the code. Getting error in above code. Okay, so while it is debugging it by itself, I will just add a debugger and check by myself if the model was set or not. Certainly, I know this .get view model is not set because we are setting the model in the core. If I just replace this here and refresh it, I have not taken help of ChatGPT as of now. I'm just doing it by myself. Click on delete to say, okay, fine. Okay, I have to do get model and then got get data. But this time I will just write code. Now I'll just get on debugger if I'm able to get the model or not. So I'll press the delete button again. Go to console, clear it up, and then I will do get data. Perfect. This is the solution. So like this, in real use case, we do the debugging and solve the issues. Save, refresh, select the data, press and delete, again inspect, go to console. Fine. So that part is done. Issue is in next line. This dot get view dot get model. Again, so we have not set the model in the view. We have set the model in the core. And when I say we, it is the chat GPT which has done this steps, and now it is failing to even understand its own code. So just do like this. Refresh again. Now we'll have a debugger so that we don't have to waste a lot of time. So we'll just have a debugger here. Suppose here. Click on delete. Keep moving. It looks it has done its part. This one is failing. Uh, Cannot read property of undefined. Anyhow, this data is removed because initially we have done the setup of model like this. That's why. So we don't even need the last statement. We'll refresh. So every time you refresh, you will get the data back. Reason being the data is set locally and your selected row is deleted. So this is the way that we can use ChatGPT to generate entire code. But certainly my recommendation is that you have to have the knowledge of UI5 so that you can use ChatGPT efficiently rather than blindly depending upon it. So that's it for the current video. We'll meet again in the next video and discuss more. Thank you.